Let's talk about the history of AC. The two most important players in this game are Thomas Edison, who is actually credited for inventing light bulbs, okay, and he had also many other patents under his name, okay. So he was an inventor, and he had a lot of patents, and by this point, the time period we are interested in, he is already an established inventor versus a businessman. So at this point, only DC have been invented, okay, and only DC have been invented, and he has been making DC power plants at different locations, and he actually even made a deal with the most powerful banker during that time, right? So his business was going very well, and he was doing very well with everything, and he also had a research team. And turns out that a new guy named Nikola Tesla went to work under him, okay, and there are some issues Thomas Edison was facing. For example, it wasn't really that efficient in terms of transferring the energy from power plants to houses. So it was like Thomas Edison was already using very thick wires, and even those light bulbs in the homes were very dimly lit. So just some amount of power was going there. Okay, so this was a very inefficient system, and you had to build a lot of DC power plants to actually supply around surrounding areas. So like those power plants had to be densely fitted, right? So every few kilometers you will see one DC power plant, okay. And Nikola Tesla saw that and thought, well, there is a way if we make the currents alternating, that has much more effect, that has some things to do, and we will discuss those things. He said this is much more efficient than DC, so we should adopt that. But Thomas Edison, being a businessman, and he already had set up a lot of DC power plants during that time already, as a result, he wasn't particularly fond of that idea. He wanted that Nikola Tesla would work on DC, but Tesla knew that he actually saw that DC is not going to work. The AC is the way out. But Edison actually fought that, and in a very nasty way, because he didn't want to lose money. So he basically just became a businessman at that point, okay. So he was an inventor, but at that point he was just after money, and that made Nikola Tesla leave the research team, and he created his own electrical company, Tesla Electrical Company, and there was a very much crude rivalry between them, and this is known as the war of the currents, which current will go on. And now we know that AC was actually a good choice for transmission during that system, but now we are again using DC in some areas of our life, but definitely AC is always in the high voltage areas and stuff, okay. So let me talk about how bad that rivalry went. So Thomas Edison tried everything, every possible way to actually stop AC from going, viral, okay. So he actually tried to make everything, alternating current look very bad. And one of the few things he actually did was he actually electrocuted some criminals to death, okay. So showing that Okay, alternating current is so deadly. If we adopt alternating currents, we are going to die, kind of like that. This is very dangerous and stuff. And there are other things like you can find that they actually did some animal cruelties and even shocked elephant to death. And there's some history behind that and some rumors around that, but there's definitely a video of that, so you can look around that. And there are some details that did actually Edison do that, but definitely Edison's company shot that film, so I don't know. I feel like that's true. But that's definitely true that Edison tried to stop the Tesla from popularizing alternating currents. Okay, and there were some crude ways to do that. So but Nikola Tesla definitely knew there's an advantage to that. The bad part of this story is that Nikola Tesla actually died penniless, because even though he had built his company, there were some legal battles and he was restricted to some areas and stuff. You can see all of those in different YouTube videos or Wikipedias, and you can read upon those if you're interested. So this is like a huge rivalry, because both of them are very important inventors in history, and not to mention in electrical world, but they are like they were very much crude to they were a huge there were a huge rivalry between them. Okay, so that's the thing. So AC, even though Edison tried to dominate AC, it turns out we are using AC for transmission every day. That's because AC has some advantages, and that can only we will only use what's good for us, or what's doing the things for us, right? What's more productive for us. And the whole reason AC thing blew up, or AC works, is the fact that one component named transformer. You have seen these things on electrical poles. I just took this image from a stock photo, whatever. So you have actually seen those transformers in electric poles, right? So these electric poles, these are called transformers. And you have heard like there was a transformer blast or something like that, right? Sometimes current goes off when there is a huge blast, and that's the transformer in your electrical pole, and the current in the whole area goes down.